So we're just going to go through some very simple steps here that can help a lot of golfers just with a base, somewhere to start for the fundamentals of the setup. And we're going to have these in a very specific order. We're going to start with aiming. And of course, if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and help us out, subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like notifications on our new videos in the future, just click that little bell there. All right, let's hop to it. I've chosen this one first because that is the first thing that you should do when stepping up to the golf ball. You should aim the club head at your target before you take your stance and your grip and all the other stuff that you're going to do in your setup. I've got a stick there aiming at the target, and this is something I encourage you to do while you're on the range. Obviously you can't do it out on the golf course, but when you're on the range, pop a stick down there to help you. And we're looking for that dead square position, a perfect tee. If you've got the driver, then you're looking at the top edge of the club face, and we want that in a perfect perpendicular tee section to that stick there. So I was obviously aiming straight at the target. If you have an iron, then we need to look at the bottom edge, the leading edge of the iron. What a lot of people do is they're still looking at the top edge like they would with a driver or a 3-wood or a hybrid. They're still looking at the top edge there, and that club face is clearly closed. So you've really got to make sure that the leading edge is perpendicular to your target, square to your target. A lot of clubs have a white or black line in the bottom groove there. This iron doesn't, but if you feel like that's going to help you to visualize aiming at your target, then get hold of some nail polish and put it into that bottom groove there so that you can really visualize aiming your iron at the target. We're going to keep this really simple. We want to get into the base of the fingers. And that's for both hands, base of the fingers. And if you've got a watch or a wristband on, we want that watch on top of the grip. So my top hand is my left hand as a right-hander. Obviously, if you're a left-hander, then your top hand's the right hand. And we want that watch or band on top here. What that helps us to do is get some stability. Now that the wrist is on top of the club, now the wrist can support the club at the top of the backswing. Big mistake a lot of golfers make, they get it in the palm of the hand too much, and then you can see that watch or wristband is over to the side. Pretty weak position. So base of the fingers, watch on top. And then the right hand is going to fit snugly over the top of the left hand for a right-hander. And we just want to close up those gaps. If that means overlapping a finger or interlocking a finger, then great. But basically, we want to close up those gaps. If we've got gaps in the fingers or the hands are apart, then you're going to lose some control and some power. Right, so 3 things there: the grip, base of the fingers, watch on top, close things up. Right, back to the driver now. I've introduced another stick to help me with alignment. Again, encouraging you to use this on the driving range. I know a lot of people think, well, I can't use the stick on the golf course, so why should I use it on the driving range? We want to get a consistent setup. And to do that, you really got to work at it and get comfortable with being square to the target. Now, what you'll notice here that these 2 sticks are parallel. So I really want you to imagine that you're standing on railway tracks. The ball's on one side and your feet on the other, and those 2 lines are never going to meet. That's the big mistake that a lot of golfers make, is that they try to aim their feet at the target and they end up actually aiming off to the right. Always feel that you're parallel to that target line. So, and the term that we use in golf is parallel left. Sorry, those left-handers, you can call it parallel right. But you can see there that one stick is pointing right down the middle of the fairway, and this stick here is pointing just left side. Not a lot, but we've got to make sure that we're parallel. And a lot of golfers really feel like they're a bit more open to the target when they're in this position, because they got so used to pointing off to the closed side there. So again, aim, grip, and then taking that stance and making sure that you're parallel to your target. Doesn't matter what club you have in your hand. If you're hitting a full shot, this is a really good starting point to be parallel. What I want you to do is just imagine that you're getting ready to catch a ball. And this gets you in a really ready position and a very athletic position as well. So we get ready to catch a ball and then just let your arms hang. That's all I want you to do. Get ready, let your arms hang. Really stable base. My feet aren't more towards my toes or to the heels, and the posture will look after itself. It's as straight a back as your body will be capable of. If you're someone that's in the gym working on your posture, then you're going to have a ramrod straight back. But if you're not spending lots of time in the gym and you might have a little bit of curve there, that's fine. What I don't want you to do is start to stiffen everything up, try to stick your bottom out. That can actually cause some injury if you get a little bit too much curvature there and you're trying to get really straight. We want to be more relaxed than that, more mobile. So getting ready to catch a ball, let your arms hang, and then you're going to be in a pretty good posture to hit a golf ball, nice and balanced. I have a lot of golfers ask me how wide should they stand, and obviously it really does depend on the golf club. Simple rule of thumb, if you're hitting a short shot, you should have a narrow stance, and if you're hitting a long shot, you should have a wider stance. So with the driver, around about shoulder width apart is a great starting point there, and that gives you a nice stable base. And then if we go down to the pitching wedge, then we have a much narrower stance, around about hip width apart. So pitching wedge, short shot, hip width, driver, longer shot, shoulder width, and then obviously you're going in between as you go up through the set. So ball position is going to be in 2 steps here. Number 1, how far away should I stand from the golf ball? Well, that's pretty simple. It depends on the golf club that you have in your hand. Remember, we're taking our aim first. Get the club flat on the ground. If we've got the toe way up in the air here, or the heel up in the air, the heel of the golf club, then that's going to change how far away from the golf ball we stand. So letting that club be flat on the ground, and remember, we're just letting our arms hang from our shoulders, and then you've got a pretty good ball position. Okay, that's going to vary from person to person based on how tall you are and your body shape and so on. But that's really going to be a simple way for you to just get into an ideal, comfortable ball position. And then we need to get the ball opposite your heart. Simple as that. For the left-handers out there, you're going to have to pretend your heart's on the other side. Some people actually do have their heart on the other side, so pretend you're one of those. So for a right-hander, you get the ball opposite your heart there. And remember, we're moving around stance width depending on how long or short the club is. So for a pitching wedge, narrow stance, still got the ball opposite my heart. That's a pitching wedge, hip width apart. Now we go to the 6-iron, a little bit wider stance, ball still opposite my heart. Then we go to the driver, and we just go a little bit wider again, ball still opposite my heart. See how the ball position has changed because the stance width has changed. Keep it really simple. Allow the width of the stance, depending on how long the club is, change that ball position around for you. All you need to do is get that ball opposite your heart and get the stance ideal for that golf club. There's a lot of different ways to set up to the golf ball. I'm not denying that. This is just a base for you to work with, something nice and simple to help you get started and to get stuck into some good sound fundamentals. I hope you like this video. I hope it clarifies a few things for you and keeps it nice and simple. If you'd like to add a comment below, we'd love to hear from you. And if there's some part of your golf game that you'd like some help with, we'd love to do a video to help you out. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. Are you the best golfer you can be?